Hello.
Oh, get you, my pretties! And your little dog, too.
Welcome
resist.
to this. That's okay. Welcome to this fun Halloween edition of Spiritual Insights.
With two crazy ladies and a microphone.
We remembered it this time. It's not plugged in. It's just for props. It's awesome. Great thing for Halloween.
It is a great thing for Halloween.
Oh my goodness. So welcome, and we hope you enjoyed this video. What we thought we wanted to do just real quick is pop on because so many people have misconceptions about Halloween and what it is and where it originates, because we have Samhain that comes into play, we have Day of the Dead, and we have All Saints Day and All Souls Day, and what do they all mean? I didn't know what they all meant.
I don't know what they mean. She's going to tell me what they mean so we can talk about
I
it.
did a little research. Oh, sorry, my mask and my lips. I'm eating my feathers, sorry. And so we're just going to kind of explore a little bit about the history of each of them. So we're going to start with Samhain.
Samhain.
So, it is actually a Irish Celtic holiday, okay? But there's actually evidence that way before that time, you said that word perfectly,
Neolithic.
Neolithic people celebrated
Yeah, since
it.
Neolithic times.
Yeah, and they were obviously from Ireland as well, but it's celebrated on November 1st, okay? So kind of around the same time as Halloween, just kind of the day after. And it marks the need to pay veneration to the gods and ancestors before the long cold winter of darkness and hardship set in. So it's kind of like paying homage to the autumn, the fall harvest,
Okay.
and getting ready for the winter.
And making sure the gods are happy with you before winter.
Yes, right?
So you don't starve to death.
Yes, and that's why they celebrated it, because they also gave gifts to the gods.
Okay.
So that was really cool.
So wait, let me put this into my perspective. So we're gonna have our harvest feast, and we're gonna be like, yeah, baby, we got some food for the winter. Thank you so much, you God, and you God, and you God, and you God. Thank you so much for all of that. We should be good for the winter now.
I hope so.
We hope so. Did I just bring it like way down?
I don't know. I didn't get that much into depth on it, but but there was 4 major holidays that the Celts that they celebrated, and they fell between. Each marks the point of the solstices and equinoxes. Okay, so they were called the fire festivals of Imbolc.
Oh, I like that.
Imbolc. Sorry, Imbolc. So there was February 2nd was Imbolc. Beltane is May 1st. Okay, Lunasa is August 1st, and Samhain is November 1st.
Okay.
So they celebrate those 4. So between sunset on October 31st until sunrise on November 1st, the Celts believed that the veil between our existence and the spiritual world was the thinnest.
Ooh, that's your day to talk to the spirits.
So we hear that all the time, and that's why people get the wrong idea about this time of year. But each holiday that I looked into, it's all about being able to contact. The veil is thin, so you can contact your loved ones and your deceased ones and have a conversation with them. It's not anything scary.
Yeah,
It's
well,
actually
and
pretty cool.
it makes sense because at some point in time, we humans took death and made death a scary thing. But at one point in time, death was common, and people knew that just because your body died didn't mean your soul died.
Exactly.
You know, we're starting to remember that now, but it's been a long time, you know,
We're starting
hundreds
to
of
see
thousands of years.
More people actually have celebrations at funerals versus, a somber. And not to say that it's not sad when the physical body, because it's really hard for us on earth, but we have to remember to also celebrate that their soul is free and they are happy and they're up there and they're looking down on us.
And they can come and talk to us.
Yes, and this is the perfect time of year in October when the veil starts to thin and they can come and talk to us. I think
So you
that's
want to
really
talk to
cool.
Grandma? Talk to her on Halloween
Exactly, right?
Exactly.
So there's like 4 main purposes of Samhain. One was to appease the gods.
There you go.
So we talk about the harvest, right?
Yeah.
And what they presented to the harvest and what they gave as like a sacrifice.
Yeah,
from
they're
the
thank you
crops.
gifts.
They're thank you gifts. Number 2, honor the dead.
That's a big one.
You know, it's not a scary thing. We make it into a scary thing with everything that we do, but it's not a scary thing. It's about honoring your loved ones that have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, helping the souls of recently deceased individuals transition to the other side is another goal of Samhain.
Yeah, so that would be your ghost or your humans without a body.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's all they are. They're humans without a body. There is nothing scary about a ghost. You have just been programmed to believe that there is something scary about a ghost. But it's just a person without a body, and they need to figure out, you know, 1, why they're hanging around, and 2, they probably need to know how to get to the other side.
And that's where Susie comes in.
Yes.
And her
Yes, I do.
expertise. And her expertise. Because yeah, they're not, you know, I remember we went to a friend's house and helped with that. It's not, they're confused and sometimes they don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. Sometimes they're lost, and you know, maybe they think that they're cursed and they can't cross over. I mean, there's all kinds of different reasons. They're lost, and they want to go for the most part. Some of them choose to stay, but a lot of them are just lost.
Yeah. And then the 4th one just kind of goes right into the last one. It's just to consult the beings of the other world. Why are you still here? How can we help you pass over? What can we do for you?
Yeah.
You know, just having that conversation. And that's why it's, you know, people say having a seance is scary. It's not scary.
It's not scary.
You know,
It's
it's
not
all about
scary.
helping that other person cross over.
Now, I will tell you that if you've never performed a seance or used a Ouija board, you need to know what the heck you're doing before you do. So consult someone first who knows what they're doing. But there's nothing scary about it if you know what you're doing.
And we have done Ouija board.
We have done Ouija board. They
but
come
we-
and talk to us.
Yes, and we take the protection that needed, which is using the salt and the crystals and saying the prayer ahead of time and only asking for beings of love and light. And we surround the whole house and the foundation and everyone in it with love and light.
Yep.
And yes, we have had. It's
They've
always
been pretty
amazing.
cool.
I know. I love. Well, the one we did at Deb.
The first one, when
when
Joanne
Joanne
came
came
through,
through.
oh my God, that was amazing.
And then Deb's husband came through.
Yes, yes.
Because she has a way to channel people that can come, the deceased ones to come through her and
Yep.
talk and give a message.
Yeah,
That was
so
amazing.
cool. So cool.
And then the one we did at my house with your friends,
Oh, yes.
where
Yes.
the late father came in and just he really had a message he'd been trying to get to them for quite some time.
Yeah,
And I
Yeah,
thought that was so cool.
that is so cool.
So cool.
Love it.
So we talk more about this Celtic celebrations with Samhain. They used to light, this is what people do, they used to light large bonfires.
Yes.
Where the community gathered together, and the fire helped their dead find their way to the other side. I think that is so cool.
That is so cool because if you think about it, it's easy to find the door if somebody puts a light on by the door. So I don't know about you, but when I leave the house, I always turn the front light on,
Me
so
too,
I can get So why wouldn't you have a bonfire to open, show the door?
Especially for the ones that are newly deceased that are hanging around and they're not
Yeah.
quite sure where they need to go.
Yeah.
And it also says it also protects the humans from the other worldly beings because that smoke. It's just like kind of what we do.
Oh, when we sage.
When we sage,
Yes.
you've got that firewood
yes.
smoke. So yeah, it all kind of goes in there. And games and food were a huge part of Samhain back in the day. In the
Sure.
Celtic. So in order to keep the hungry ghosts and fairies, I love this, from entering the homes, the Celts also placed food offerings in front of their doorways.
Oh, for the fairies and the ghosts.
Yes.
Nice. I love that.
I learned that in my shaman.
I just
my
invite them
shaman
in, and
class.
I'll give them treats inside.
can
We'll
come
sit down and
in.
have a chit chat.
Come in where it's warm.
Yeah, come on in.
So yeah, so there's just like they just place those food offerings in there, and then when the families took care of the spirits was believed would grant them blessings upon the family to help them survive the winter. And that's kind of where we get the blessing of the harvest, and then also
Sure.
doing that whole celebration and having the ancestors. bless
I like
you.
that. That's
I
so
know.
cool.
So there's nothing scary about it at all.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
No, and I'm only doing the highlights, you guys. There's so much. I went to a history page. It was a really good history page. I will put it.
Oh, some
underneath.
links in there,
It
yes.
was really good. It just had so much wonderful information.
That.
So then it talked about, like the tradition, the transition of Samhain to Halloween and things like that. So before going to talk about All Saints Day in a little bit. That is a Christian holiday, but before All Saints Day, it was actually known as All Hallows Eve.
Oh,
All
yes.
Saints Eve, okay? So Samhain was blended with the Catholic holiday and became Halloween in the United States and in Mexico, actually.
Okay.
So I just think that whole tradition of where this, they're all interconnected. They're all interconnected. So the history of Halloween contains many traditions. Perhaps the most important one is the survival, they call it, of wearing costumes.
Yeah, baby. Get
So-
your costume on.
I know. The Celtic villagers wore costumes to hide from ghosts.
Yeah, because they were afraid.
And the Celtic druids. Or
Oh,
druids, or
yeah.
how you say, if I'm saying that right. They wore animal skins on their head and while performing the ceremonies. So then that was also so they could absorb the animal power as well.
Oh,
when they
sure.
wore that. But,
Sure.
another tradition is trick-or-treating, which is today synonymous with Halloween.
Yes.
So Halloween goes back thousands of years.
Thousands.
I thought that was really cool. So today in modern Halloween, we kind of just follow that same thing of everybody just goes around and they trick or treat. Now we give out candy. We don't put stuff on our porch or we don't put
You know
harvest
why
on
we
our
don't put
porch.
stuff on our porch?
Yeah.
Because the neighbor kids will come through and take it all.
even the stuff from the harvest.
Yeah, and they just take it all.
But I thought this was really cool. So, it says all America's Halloween is blended with the cultures that formed the country initially. Celebrations in the New World were mostly harvest festivals based on giving thanks to the gods, which we talked about. But this is because conservative Puritans shunned anything that took on pagan aspects. So in the latter part of the 19th century, the Irish poured into the country in response to the potato famine, and they brought with them their own culture and celebrations that eventually became Halloween as we know it today.
Nice.
I think that's
Well,
so
I'm not
cool.
happy about the potato famine, but they did help bring Halloween here.
They
So
brought
thank
Halloween here.
you
Yes.
for that.
We don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
So, the next one I kind of did a little research on was the Day of the Dead, which is a Mexican holiday. So a lot of people
Yes.
confuse the Day of the Dead with the Mexican holiday. So I might just mispronounce this a little bit. I had to practice it before I got here.
Okay.
So, Day of the Dead is pronounced De la Muertos. De la Muertos. Okay. Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, I forgive our
So
Spanish.
it's Dia de los Muertos. Dia de los Muertos. Okay? So that is actually different than the Mexican holiday, which is Dia de los Bravos. So again, I apologize to anyone out there who's an expert in this. I'm not, but that is actually on Halloween. But a lot of people celebrate the Day of the Dead because that's what's common right here in the United States. Okay, so that actually goes for a few days. It starts October 31st, but it doesn't end until November 2nd.
Oh,
So
so which one is which? Now
So the Mexican holiday is the Dia de los Bravos,
okay,
which is Day of the Witches, and it's actually on Halloween.
it's on Halloween.
And that is
okay.
actually in Mexico. It's just like a children's festival where they get dressed up and they go trick or treating, just like we do here.
Disney even made a movie about it.
Okay.
It's Soul.
Okay.
There is a cute Disney animated movie about the Day of the Dead.
I would love
Watch it.
Yeah. So Day of the Dead. Okay. So that is actually a 3-day, like we talked about, but it's an Aztec celebration.
Okay, that makes sense because a lot of their culture is based on the Aztec heritage. Okay,
so that makes sense.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but which has its roots in southern Mexico, which I would think this is fascinating to me.
It is
And but
fascinating.
what it does, again, we go back to Samhain, okay? This honors the memory of departed family members, friends, and even pets.
Yes. So I'm gonna bring that movie back up again.
Yeah.
So in the movie, and I don't know how accurate this is because we don't celebrate the Day of the Dead, but in the movie, the whole premise was that if your family puts your picture on their altar of ancestors,
I heard that.
then you will be remembered and your soul will be healthy, for lack of a better analogy, and they would put like your favorite food and that kind of stuff out there on there for the family, and the family would cross over
Yep.
and they would partake in the celebration, and then when it was time they would go back home.
You you hit it right. The movie must be pretty good because they
Okay.
talk about all that in here.
Okay.
Because they have actually the celebration with the symbols and what the symbols all mean, which we can kind of go into a little bit.
Mhm.
But what I find interesting is the Day of the Dead is a combination, here we go, of the indigenous cult of death and the ritual rites of Catholicism brought over from Europe.
Oh.
So again, we have that intermingling of both customs.
Yes.
So-
Yes.
And it's the custom is inviting the departed loved ones home for a day or so in a way to honor their lives and accept what will happen after death.
There you go.
That's so cool. So some
I
of
like
the
that.
two traditions, you talk about food, flowers, and the altars are necessary components to the celebration. So
Mhm.
people offer, a lot of times do burning of the candles.
Mhm.
They do the marigold flowers. I took my glasses on for this, and I don't know if I can do it over my ass. Marigold flowers are placed on the walkways to help the deceased find their way to their loved ones.
Which makes sense because in the movie they have this bridge of flowers, and I didn't put two and two together that it was marigold. It was Yellow Flower Bridge.
Ah, yes, marigold.
And you couldn't cross the bridge unless your family had your picture on their altar.
We're gonna have to get a link to that movie too.
Yes,
in there, because
it is
I have not
such a
seen
cute
that, and I think
movie.
that would be awesome.
Such a cute movie.
Let's see, the keepsakes of the deceased,
Mhm.
sunglasses, your eyeglasses, any kind of article that they wore or maybe. We put those
Yes.
things on the altar as well. Pictures.
Pictures.
Pictures of them, and then the burning of the incense.
There you go.
So all that is all part of it. So I can't wait to see that movie now.
It is a
because
cute
it's all
movie.
part of this. So I think I love how we're bringing these traditions a little bit to the United States as well.
Yes.
Because honoring. This is all, Halloween is a fun tradition to trick or treat, but it's the whole season. It's about
Honoring the
deceased,
dead, honoring
yeah.
our loved ones, yes. And we're getting more and more Hispanic people, for lack of a better word, migrating from Mexico up into the United States. So we really need to be more blended in our culture.
I agree. And I know, like, I was seeing something, I think it was on Uncle's Facebook, where there was a Day of the Dead celebration. I don't know if it was in Green Bay here or if it was somewhere else, but I'm glad to see that people are hosting that, because I do believe in mixing the cultures. Because it all is kind of we may do it a little different, but it all has the same meaning to it.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. It's not all about the candy.
It's not? Oh. Dang it. I bought a lot of candy this year. I do that every year, but I tried to do some gluten-free stuff.
Okay.
And some animal crackers for the little kiddos. But I'll always hand out things I don't like first.
Just a tip.
Just a
Hand
tip.
out your least favorite candy first.
Because
Or
it's left over.
Or if you're on a diet, hand out your favorite candy first.
Yeah, that's true. Then you
Oh,
won't
yeah.
eat it.
Flip it.
And I already told my class that I teach, my meditative fusion class, I'm like, yeah, next week you're going to be getting some leftover Halloween candy.
There you go.
So,
Got candy.
so the last one that kind of ties in with this is All Saints Day, which also brings in All Souls Day as well. Again, we kind of referred to this a little bit prior.
Mhm.
And All Saints Day was known as All Hallowed Eve. It's a Christian holiday that is observed on November 1st.
There
in
you
the-
go.
In the Western Christianity world.
A Christian holiday.
Yeah. And it overlaps with Day of the Dead and Halloween, like all that, just kind of.
It's just like this peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It is, yes, I like that. I
Yeah.
like the analogy.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
all just sandwiched together.
Yeah. And then you enjoy it.
Yeah. Little salty, little sweet,
Yeah.
which makes sense because if you're remembering and honoring your loved ones who've passed, you may have a little bit of salty there because you might be sad, but you also have the sweet from the memory of the wonderful time you shared with them. So salty,
like
sweet.
it.
Peanut butter and jelly. This is a peanut butter and jelly weekend.
Oh, that's what I should give out. I'm just kidding. So I thought it was really cool. Like, I was like, when I read this, I'm like, well, what's the difference between All Saints Day and All Souls Day?
Yeah.
So All Saints Day recognizes all departed Christians, where All Souls Day focuses on those in purgatory.
Oh.
Which is a different, we don't talk about that much because that is a Christian concept.
Yeah,
People
that is a
in
Christian
purgatory.
concept.
So All Saints Day celebrates all the saints, both living and dead.
Mhm.
So where All Souls Day is dedicated to praying for the dead, especially those who have passed away in the past year. So you can still, even if, whether you want to believe in purgatory, you don't believe in purgatory, based on your faith, it's still kind of the same as the Day of the Dead celebration.
Yeah, because you're still talking about
Yeah.
celebrating dead people.
Because both of these remind us of hope, that we have eternal life in our soul after the body passes, right?
Yeah.
So
I'll let you in on a little secret. Our souls never die.
Where do they go?
They go to the other side.
What's the other side?
The other side is the universe, the divine energy, the everything, the all.
That's why. So for any of you, I'm sure a ton of you out there that watch this have loved ones that have passed away, and you have seen them like before they pass. They reach out to someone, or they smile, or they say they see someone, because that person's coming over to greet them and take them to the other side.
I know. Those are my favorite mediumship readings, is when you have someone come in and they find out that grandpa came and got grandma, or an uncle came and escorted so-and-so across, or anything like that. The family comes back to get you. So you never die alone. Ever. Someone is always with you.
I think that I did a quantum session with someone that I know who is now deceased. And in the quantum session, one of her questions that she had for the divine, the universe, was who is going to greet me, because this person had a terminal illness.
That's a great question.
And it came back that her mother-in-law and her brother were going to greet her. And it gave me, it just filled my heart. I started crying, because then after she passed away and I was talking with her daughter, actually messaged me, and then her husband told me as well that before she passed, she was in a hospice place. She said, I think it was, she saw both her brother and her mother-in-law, and she saw them in the room. And she's like, don't you see them? They're right over there.
They're right there. They're right there.
Yeah, and I just was like, oh my God.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it's just like so,
Love that.
it's comforting to know that.
It is. It is.
So the origin of All Saints Day, for those who, because you so kindly asked,
What is the origin of All Saints Day?
can be traced back to the early Christian church, when it was established as a day to remember and celebrate martyrs and other saints who had died for their faith. But then it kind of just evolved, and instead of just honoring martyrs and other, it just devolved into to celebrating everybody who
Okay.
had been deceased. So
Gotcha.
it kind of evolved, yes. So I thought that was really cool. I think that was like all I had. What is this? I have.
I don't know. She's got something highlighted.
highlighted in yellow. So, I thought this was cool. It might surprise you to know that Halloween, by that name, actually started out as a holy Christian celebration.
Ooh, say that again.
Halloween, as we know it by that name, actually started out as a holy Christian celebration. Now, there might be someone here that may get offensive, so I'm going to explain what it means. Hallow in Old English means holy or sacred. Therefore, Hallows Eve or Halloween simply means the evening of holy persons and refers to the evening before All Saints Day.
There you go.
So,
technically speaking, I would say Halloween is a Christian holiday.
yep, it's a mixture. It says it right here. It's a mixture of Celtic religious ideas and Christian, martyrology.
Martyrology?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that word.
me
I'm going to have to
neither.
Google what that means.
I know,
Martyrology.
But basically, Day of the Dead, like all these are a mixture
Yeah.
coming into one. And I don't care how you want to celebrate them, but there's nothing evil, there's nothing satanic or cult.
There's
or
nothing scary.
about them. No.
You can make it as scary as you choose to make it, but there's nothing really scary about it.
No, and people always say that, Samhain, is born in that pagan, mythology, but really it's a Celtic,
Yeah.
and they just believed in honoring the gods and not wanting anything evil to happen, so they did the food sacrifices.
Did you know that in the Bible it talks about gods plural?
Did see?
Yeah, and I don't remember where it is. It's in the Old Testament, but it does talk about the 12 gods, not just one god, the 12 gods. And I'd have to do a little more research to figure out exactly where it is in the Bible, but it does talk about it.
Interesting, because when I took my Celtic Irish shamanism, they had the 12 deities.
Yeah.
So that could all be interrelated as well.
Yeah. And what I always find interesting, so I grew up Christian, and what I always found interesting is they always pick specific parts of the Bible to talk about. But if you actually pick up the Bible and read the entire thing, there is so much more in that Bible that relates to spirituality and divinity and the divinity within, and multiple gods, not just one. And you know what else? I've never read anything in the Bible about God being jealous.
Me neither. Of however you want, whatever you want to follow, whatever you want to celebrate, and whatever. I just had a thought about that when you were talking about the Bible. I can't remember where that went now, but because you brought up that other good idea about God is not jealous, and God doesn't judge. God, it's an all-forgiving God, right? So whether you want to celebrate Day of the Dead, All Saints Day, All Souls Day,
Halloween,
or whatever your religion or not religion is, you're still going to be accepted.
Exactly. Christian, atheist, pagan, Wiccan, Druid, doesn't matter.
It's an all-encompassing, you want to call it God, you want to call it by other names, the divine source, Buddha, I don't care what you want to call it. It's all-encompassing, it's all loving.
I know, it's beautiful, and it's been so much forgotten. But we're getting back there. We're getting back there.
I know, I love that you brought that up about the Bible and all
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah,
But
so y'all, your homework is to look up the 12 gods in the Bible.
Yes, seriously, I'm going to do that too. We're going to put some links below in the video of things we've talked about. I love, that movie that Susie talked about.
Oh yeah, Soul.
Where I got all this information from, which was very interesting. There's a lot more than, trust me, there was tons of pages I could have printed. We could
Oh, I
have been on
bet.
there for hours, but that's only if you're a history geek.
Well,
And I was like, okay, I don't have that much time, but. So whatever you do and however you celebrate, if you do celebrate Halloween, we hope you have a fun time. If you have kids and take them trick-or-treating, keep them safe. I don't know anything else you want to say.
trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. And I'm not going to say the rest of it.
I don't even know. We'll say it offline. I don't even know the rest of it.
I'll tell you later. Okay.
Well, everyone have a great Halloween, I guess.
Happy
And
Halloween, happy
Happy
Samhain, happy Day of the Dead, happy All Saints Day, happy blah blah, whatever. Happy
whatever it
Souls
is.
Day, yes.
They all fall within a couple days of each other.
Exactly.
So, and they're all to be celebrations to honor those that have passed over. And
Yes.
to just let the kiddos have fun.
Exactly. Let the kiddos have fun. Even the adult kiddos can have
Yes.
fun.
Speaking of that, did you hear? I heard on the radio this morning as I was going to teach class. I thought it was kind of ridiculous. There is a city, I don't know if it was Philadelphia or somewhere, where they put an age limit of 12
For trick or
for
treating?
trick-or-treating. And the person in the radio station said, I don't even understand why, because I would rather have my 60-year-old trick-or-treating than doing something devious on that
Oh
night.
yeah,
And I'm like,
exactly.
Hey! We're just
Waving to
for
my
the
husband.
So, you know what? There shouldn't be an age limit. I mean, if adults come, I give adults, parents, when they come to my door with their kids, I give them candy.
Oh yeah,
Or whatever.
definitely.
I love when they dress up and go out with their kids.
Yes. Ooh, before we go, I have a joke for you. Are you ready for this?
Uh-oh.
Okay. A medium, a muggle, and a witch walk into a bar. The medium says, "Hey, you see that guy over there?" The muggle says, "No, what guy?" And the witch says, "I can't see him, but I sure can spell him." That might have been a dad joke.
All the dads are out there laughing.
Yeah, exactly. Dad joke.
That was awesome. awesome. Just let it sit a little while, you'll get it.
Yep,
If
exactly.
you don't laugh at first, just listen to it.
Just
few
listen,
times.
yes.
All right, we wish everyone a wonderful Halloween. I'm happy to celebrate. My papers just went flying. So we're going to sign off for now, and we can't wait to see you on our next podcast.
You betcha.
episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Did it shut off? No. It doesn't want to shut off.
Who's going to get close enough to shut it off? Okay, I have a mask on you. Got it.